Hello, this is Type, and while we start with such a dramatic music. Anyway, this is a new league that I happened to join, and and this is called UPA, which, if I remember correctly, comes from Universal Pokemon Association or something like that. Okay, some people from UPA may be wondering that who the hell am I? How did I get here? Well, let's put it this way. Me and Drew have some interesting history. Um, Not really me and him, but a league there where I used to be and him. It was a very interesting league. Uh, the group there was just so close, and like I'm still a lot with the people from there, and it came to be another league later, which I'm running at the moment. Also, Jazzy was in that league, so if you were wondering how come did we end up dating, it's because we first got to know each other there. However, I don't know if I should talk about this, but it's just funny, you know. Drew just started trolling there, and but it was like first Jazzy got kicked from there for whatever reason, and that's why she joined the UPA. Then Drew got kicked a bit later, but then the league just went all over the place, and you know, it just died with a very like. But yeah, there was a lot of drama involved in it, and then we made a new league and invited Jazzy back. But now, just, you know, there was no Drew. But then I just faced Drew on a ladder in the late 6th gen, and I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but a couple of days later he invited me to join the D-League, and I joined, and I went undefeated until the D-League died, and now I'm here. I actually, first when he asked me if I want to join this league, I said no, and I just thought about it, and I was like, fuck it, I want to play Pokemon, so let's join this league. And in the in the application sheet, I was like, are you gonna make videos? I was like, what the fuck, let's do it. And now I'm here with a video about my draft, and I got a very nice draft. I really like my draft, and now I'm kinda here to explain you what I did and why. And I drafted a lot of things that I have never used before, but I also have a certain core that I have used before, and I really enjoyed using it, so that's why I have it, or why I tried to go for it again and I got it. So without further ado, because I guess I've just used enough time rambling for stuff that, you know, are kinda irrelevant, let's go into my draft. So I had like I was in the middle of the draft, 8th pick, so I just like I was like I'm not gonna make any plans, so I just react. And as it happens, the picks before me were Clefable, Magikarp, Giroarchis, Skarmory, Mew, Excadrill, and Tapu Bulu, so I just figured that, you know what, Victini is gonna be a very good pick at this point. It's just gonna basically check every single one of those mons. Some better than the others, but Victini, I really like this mon, and as you can see I have the Farium Z here, which means that this I also nominated this as my Z mon. We have 2 nominations for Z crystals, so Victini is my other one. And basically, like, this just such a versatile mon. Can be physically or especially offensive. It has very nice bulk, which helps a lot in a lot of situations, especially with my team, which is more bulky offense, so it slash semi-stall, so having a little bulk there will probably come into play in a lot of situations. Such a nice coverage, and especially with like the Z move, I can just have such strong coverage moves, like more powerful Dazzling Gleam, more powerful Focus Blast, and U-turn is very nice. So yeah, actually, like my original plan was to maybe go for Tapu Koko, but I just figured that like I didn't really need it that much. I just had an idea to maybe go for uh, some kind of Volt turn maybe with Rain. But I decided to go for Victini first instead, just because it matched up so well with everything that had been drafted so far. But yeah, do we have anything? It gets bounced. Wow, I can use Flanium Set if I need to. Glacier is a nice move to have too. But yeah, I guess that's enough about Victini. Oh, stored power, nice. And you all know probably the Trick Room set, so that's an option if I want to do that. Anyway, Victini, I'm very happy about this pick. Looking forward to see what I can do with it. Okay, so my next pick was like, okay, I was thinking that Tapu Koko would be nice, but Drew actually picked it just a couple of picks after my Victini, so I decided to go for Mega Man Electric. I really liked this back in 6th gen in standard play, Smogon play, but I can see it being not as good in league format or draft format simply because it has not that good of a coverage. Like, let's say, I know some team here has both Garchomp and Seismitoad, so I know that I won't have coverage for both of them because I only get one hidden power, for example. But in general, like, both Victini and Manectric have that great electric fire coverage, which will probably help me to break a lot of cores. And the Volt Turn combo is there as well. I actually had Lando T available at this point, but I really wanted something else that is 4 times weak to ice, and you will see what it was if you don't already know. But yeah, I went with Mega Man Electric. Yeah, this is not the most versatile, but it gives me very good speed tier, 135, and it's just does well what it does, I think. Plus I get the Lightning Rod before I Mega Evolve, so I can try to utilize that if I can. I know that I must Mega Evolve first turn, but I can just pivot in and switch out again if I feel that's that's my best play. Also, the Intimidate is very nice. I have some Intimidate core here, as you can see. I've got Gyarados later on too. And next, the things start getting a bit more fun. So I drafted Toxapex, and I didn't really think that I would go this Stolly first, but well, at this point I actually did. After having picked Victini and Manectric, I kind of knew what I wanted, especially after having looked what is left in the tier 1. So, like, there were mainly strong psychic types left, like Gladius, Starmie. I didn't want them because I already had Victini. And I neither wanted things like Dragonite or Zygarde because I already told that I have this 4-time ice weakness that I really want. So I figured that Toxapex is probably the best thing I can get at this point, like in terms of typings and such, even though I didn't realize that actually now all my mons are weak to ground. But it's not that big of a deal. Actually, these are my only ground weaknesses if I remember correctly. And Toxapex, it's just such a solid wall. Gives me grounded poison type, toxic spikes, and such a solid wall can be physical or defensive. Regenerator is such an annoying ability to play against. So I'm looking forward to this pick. I'm probably not gonna bring this mon that often, but when I do, I'm looking forward to put in a lot of work. And by the way, I want to just say that how come did Zygarde not actually get drafted at all? Like, it's one of the best mons in this new meta. I really think. I mean, I'm not sure, but I can definitely see it becoming one of the best mons also in the draft format. But maybe people just aren't they haven't seen it in action, so they don't really want to try it yet, I assume, or something. Anyway, my next pick is Blissey, and I really like Blissey. Oh, but oops, by the way, I haven't remembered to tell my nickname, so let's go first. Victini is, of course, Recreate. So if anybody does know where that comes from, that's great. Okay, that's a reference to another Finnish, great Finnish PokeTuber, competitive PokeTuber, Flaming Spade, and his meme, "We create." And I mean, I love Spade so much, and he just started uploading again recently, so that's so amazing. And yeah, that's a thing of his. So if you want to know more, just go check him out. I really recommend it. Manectric is this is after my parents' dog. They have 2 Chihuahuas, so this is the more I guess timid of them. Olga. She's from Russia, actually. The mother of the other dogs died, so my parents wanted a friend to her, so they bought one from St. Petersburg. So her name was Olga. So Olga is gonna be my Mega Manectric now. Toxapex is gonna be Thorn of Crowns. I like, it is basically a Thorn of Crowns starfish, but I really like. It's a very, very cool name in my opinion. I mean, yeah, it is what it is, but like literally, but it's just such a cool name, cool word, that I want to go with it. Okay, then please see. This is the best name ever. Femiju. It's a word game. If you don't realize what it is, just think about it a bit more. And Blissey, I love Blissey. I've used it before, and it's such a great mod. People don't realize how versatile it is actually. And like, look at how well it just. This Bliss spec score. Gotta love it. Gotta love that. I don't have to prepare for it. Like, yeah, this mon is versatile. Okay, I mean, something I never used myself, but I saw once. Healer with skill swap to make Mega Sableye toxic itself. That was hit. But like, I've used, like, often when people like describe their monster, they say like what it can theoretically do, but I can say that I have used Specs Blissey myself successfully. So just beware. If I come up with something that I want to do, I will do it. If it just, if there's any point of doing it. At that time there was. I also get my first stealth rocker, which is actually pretty solid. And I mean, yeah, Blissey is Blissey. I guess I'm not gonna really talk about it that much. Everyone knows what Blissey does. I just know a bit more what it can do. Like, say I'm crazy, but I actually know a set. Blissey set that breaks stall. So don't try to bring stall against my stall. I'm not gonna tell what it is because, in case you want to try to utilize that knowledge, knowledge is power. Next pick is Fortress. Okay, so basically I had like few mons in mind that I could use, like, well, I wanted the steel type obviously, so there were like Cobalion and things like that, even Lucario, but Lucario was gone at this point if I remember correctly. But Fortress is very good because it basically, I've used it before, so I have experience of using it. I really liked it alongside Blissey. It gets spin for me, which is huge. It gets Volt Switch, which is also huge. I really like the idea of having a steel type with Volt Switch because it gives me that Volt Turn. More Volt Turn options. Hazards, of course, are very nice, and this move pool, it's not great, but it's not the worst possible either. like there are things like, well, bug bite I guess, but drill run, or even, I mean, earthquake drill run, and rock slide, and so there are some moves that it can use, which is which can be nice. And yeah, I like Fortress. It's very, in my opinion, it's a very underrated spinner because like you don't really, yeah, this is my only spinner in my team, but it doesn't matter because Fortress is a mon that you can bring every week. Like you won't mind bringing it every week. It's because it's good. People just don't, for some reason, understand that sometimes, especially with my team that I have. I don't have many fire weaknesses, so they may not pack coverage for this anyway. And by the way, now that I like you see my this defensive core here, which isn't perfect yet, I have something more to it too. But the very nice thing about this core is that Victini basically checks the moves that check these. So let's say you go for psychic type on this, I can bring in Victini, gain momentum that way, or fighting type against Blissey, I bring in Victini, resist the hit and gain the momentum, or fire type against Fortress, I bring in Victini, gain the momentum. So I think that's super cool with Victini. It just switches into the checks of my walls, and I can just hit with a hard hit from there. Okay, so my next pick actually was Gyarados. I was actually first thinking of Staraptor, but first of all it went before that. But like Gyarados, it's my other Z move user. But what I like about it is that it helps me check the ground types, which so far are a bit of a problem for me. I really wanted this mon because not only is it a great Z move user, it's a great ground types check. It's very versatile. It can be bulky, it can be offensive. It gives me a setup option, which I also lack so far. Like okay, maybe Victini can set up with Z moves, but that's it pretty much. I guess does it get bulk up? No, I don't think so. No, it gets charge beam. Yeah, Gyarados, so, and do amazing abilities, especially with Moxie and the Z moves. I just use Z move to get a kill and I get a Moxie boost, and if I have Dragon Dance there already, I will just sweep through teams. So I'm like this good of a Zmon in tier 3. I believe it's just a huge steal, to be honest. And like round 6 this should have gone a lot earlier. But like the reason I didn't pick it around 5 was because I really wanted the spinner, and I really wanted this spinner because I know how well it works with Blissey. And Blissey I wanted round 4 because of the core, Blisspex core. But yeah, that's my first 6 members, and now let's go to the remaining ones. So my next one is actually Whimsicott, and I really I was first thinking of Dugtrio to this part, but I went with Whimsicott because I've actually also used it with Blissey and Fortress, and those 3 mons just usually was the the core of my team. It doesn't sound like an actual core, but they just happen to be very centralizing to my team. And what is great about Whimsicott is that it basically it can check stall checks, like it can Encore setup, or it can break stall with Taunt, Leech Seed, stuff like that. It gives me Memento support, which is very solid for, especially for Gyarados. Maybe for if I use like Z-Trick Victini or something like that. And of course offensive Fairy type is amazing, and also Grass type. It gives me another ground immunity, no ground resist, sorry, which is great. I really like this mon. It has solid speed tier of 116. I can U-turn. I think it's my last U-turner of this team. So yeah, I have used this mon a few times in draft formats, so I really like this one. And it should kind of glue my stall side of the team together. I will have one more important member for my stall though, but you'll see it soon. Okay, so my next pick, actually, at this point I really realized that Flygon would be so great for my team, even though I said that I don't want... I have another 4 times weakness in mind. It wasn't Flygon, but I realized that Flygon would be so great because of another ground immunity and defog option to get some pressure off from that Fortress, but unfortunately I got sniped there. If I had realized that before, I would have gone for it probably the earlier round. But instead I went with my original plan, which was Mimikyu. So Mimikyu here, it can it basically is another setup mon, which also gives me another. It gives me another offensive fairy type, which I like. I like, especially like stacking offensive fairy types is very cool because it's such a good offensive typing. Ghost is an amazing typing. It gives me priority, and I mean, I haven't really looked into this mon yet, but like these are so many crazy options. Like it can set up a lot of things. It has some surprising coverage such as Leech Life and Woodhammer, for example. It can Thunder Wave things, it can taunt things. So, and like some kind of weird curse that might be like interesting. So, I'll have to. I'll try to experiment with this mono if I just can. But yeah, it's. Even though I was a bit sad that I didn't get Flygon, I'm still fine because I'm really looking forward to have this fairy spam if I can. And my next one is actually Sneasel. Oh, by the way, the nicknames again. So Fortress is Cone 2012. So if you remember the Coney thing, there was this Ugandan dictator. I don't know. And I don't even remember what it was, but I just think it's hilarious to name Fortress after that. And Gyarados is Edward the Booble. So Edward the Booble. So if you know Moomins, it's like a Finnish book, children's book series. So there's this character called Edward the Booble. I'll show the picture right now. You know what is Edward the Booble? Why it's the great name for Gyarados. However, Whimsicott will Whimsicott name. Pumpuliukko. Okay, this is Finnish, and Pumpuli means cotton, and Puliukko means bomb. Or there was what is it? I don't even remember the better translation for it, but basically cotton plus bomb, and it's just a funny word because Pumpuli and Puliukko makes Pumpuliukko. And yeah, Ukko means like an old guy, so it's a fun word game. Mimikyu is Master of Disguise. It doesn't sound original, but it's a great song by a band called Arcturus, so that's why I'm naming it Master of Disguise, because it's such a great song. And now Sneasel, which is Sniff. Sniff is also from the Moomins. Here you can see the picture. And well, Sniff is kind of a timid character, so Sneasel doesn't really match that personality very well. The reason I wanted Sneasel mainly was, I mean, offensive Dark type in Draft League is very important in my opinion, especially if it like gets all the moves like Knockoff, Pursuit. Doesn't get Sucker Punch, but it gets Ice Shard. So basically these moves they're so great in this like format. Also the speed is very nice because like both Mega Ladis got drafted and Latias regular one got drafted too. So I just wanted an Ice type that can outspeed them. I mean, I also have Whimsicott, so it wasn't that big of a deal anymore, but just a solid Ice Dark type, very good offensive mon. And because it's a lower tier mon, people, I mean personally at least, I kinda overlook it when like building the team, so that's kinda cool with Sneasel too. Next is, oh yeah, this one. So I really wanted Pyukumuku for my Unaware mon, but I didn't get it, so I was in a concert, so it just she had my picks, so she rushed and gave me Palossand, which you know I wanted and like didn't end up really mattering at all in the end. Um, but I don't know, Palossand. Now that I think of it, there would have been other ground types in tier 5 that would have fitted my team better, such as well, something that gets rocks, mainly like even Goal Raiden or Golem, things like that. So maybe I'll trade this to something else. We'll see. But I think this is a good mon. Like, it has good stats. It's a very unique ground type because it gets recovery. It has pretty solid, like, ground ghost with grass is pretty solid coverage, and especially with poison to hit the fairy types. It can't really set. I mean, it can set up like rock polish and the defenses it can set up, but unfortunately not the offenses. It would be very cool if it could, like Calm Mind or something like that. Would be cool. But yeah, that's Palossand. It's also a spin blocker, a bot switch blocker, which you know I needed. I don't have ground type so far, so I really needed that too. Pretty slow, and so is my next pick too, which is my unaware mon. It's Quagsire, and it's actually my third base 35 speed because Toxapex is 2. So it's interesting. So when I wasn't able to get Pyukumuk, so I went for Quagsire. I was surprised it's tier 5, but it was, and I mean I don't mind. And yeah, I'm mostly gonna use unaware probably if I bring a Stolier team or something. Also, this can another ground type, which is great. It can just block switches, and these are actually my only grass weaknesses. So like, it doesn't, like, people probably won't even bring coverage for Quagsire because it may not be worth it, which is very cool. And I haven't really used Quagsire, but you know it's pretty easy to use, I guess. Just max HP, max defense every week. That's how I usually rank Gastrodon when I had it. Unfortunately, no stealth rocks. So yeah, I only have 2 stealth rockers, which are Blissey and Fortress. Actually, a decent coverage too. Now that I look at it, Encore is cool. So yeah, I'll see what I can come up with this one. And Palossand is a moving castle after the film and the book series. I haven't really seen it. I've seen like half of the film, but that's everything I have ever seen from Miyazaki anyway, which is pretty weird, I guess. Quagsire is Kekkonen after a Finnish president who was like over 20 years president in Finland in 50s to 70s. He was bald, so I figured that Kekkonen is a great name for Quagsire. And the last thing is my ice weakness, which is no other than Alolan Executor. I really wanted to try this. I have no idea how this should be used, which is just better because that's how I want to use it. Having no idea how it's supposed to be used, but using it my way. Amazing coverage, can be used physically or especially offensively. Can be, I guess, bulky too. Yeah, these aren't horrible stats. 2 great abilities. Frisk is great in especially this format. Harvest is such an overlooked ability in the format too. Like, you can do anything with Harvest, to be honest. Like, there are so many berries that just are looking forward to be used correctly. Like, you can make yourself a stamina mon with just add a key berry there or Maranga berry. You can have these elemental berries to remove weakness from yourself. Starfberry, we all know that set. If you don't, it's just random 2 stats. Or random stat by 2. Unfortunately, this, I don't think this does get natural. It does get natural gift. I can spam natural gift with Harvest. Okay, yeah, so Alolan Executor. I'm looking forward to this mon. It's nowhere near the best ice type weakness that you can think of, but I just wanted to try this mon, and it gives me ground resist too, which is amazing. And I don't have that many ice weaknesses anyway, so I'm very happy with my like defensive typing, because I don't have any weakness stacked that much at all. But yeah, I feel this can do so many things. So I'm just looking forward to see how I can do with it. But yeah, this is my team. This is what I think of it, I guess. Um, I guess. Um, yeah, so I'm looking forward to this season. I really like this team. It's not really something I've ever drafted exactly. It can be very stally. It can be very offensive, and but yeah, that's what I like. I kind of like to have like two different teams going on at the same time in my teams. Just makes it so versatile usually. And yeah, I guess I'm just gonna stop rambling. This is Stipe signing out. Bye bye.